Ready.
Ready, here we are. We're talking about this week on our review show, The Great
And
Sasuke.
we are back.
Are back.
Great Sasuke documentary. I had this booked, pinned in my YouTube for a long time. Like this has got to be interesting. Someday I'll get to this, and today's the day. And not only was it very good, I watched it twice. I rarely watch a chosen one twice. Or I guess we're not calling them chosen ones anymore. Reviews. I rarely watch a review we do twice, but I did. I watched this twice. So
If I'm being honest, it mostly made me sad. I feel bad for Great Sasuke.
really, I was laughing
Illusionally,
at him. He's a very silly man.
He is very silly.
It's funny because a lot of his peers don't have they have weird opinions of him. Because the very opening quote by I forget who it was says Sasuke is like the sun. It gives us life, but if you get too close, it's dangerous. Wow. That's your friend. Oh my God.
Yeah, everyone is very critical of him in this.
Yeah.
Another one's he's 40 years old, but he wears a mask everywhere that he goes.
Yes.
He wears a mask eating breakfast with his kids. He wears a mask vacuuming the house.
I would imagine if the camera wasn't there, that it comes off at home, but maybe not.
No, based on what the kids were saying and some of the talking heads, no. He keeps it on all the time. So, yeah. We had seen Sasuke a few times. He's a legendary wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
We saw him in WWF. We watched, was it Canadian Stampede? He was in an early match on Canadian Stampede in WWF in 97. He was wasn't he in the Super J Cup or something like that we watched? He was in some tournament we watched. Yes. And we also, on one of my shows, the goofball wrestling matches that I looked up, we watched him in a train match.
Yes.
Where wrestlers fought on a moving train.
Oh, that's right.
He was in that too. So we get to see basically a retrospective of all of his past accomplishments, because at one point he had 9 championship belts at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Which that entrance was awesome, where the 9 women carried the belts out one at a time. That was cool.
Yes.
I don't know if he had anything to do with the transition between Ultimo Dragon and him, but didn't Ultimo Dragon have like a dozen championships at one time in WCW?
He had, I don't know if it was when he
I think he came into WCW with them.
He came in and he had a ton of belts, and then he like folded the Cruiserweight Championship into all of his belts as well at the time. But so I wonder if they had like a match against each other or something. I don't know enough about it.
Here's another thing that the Great Sasuke likes to do. He likes to get in barrels and then do in matches and like tries to dive, but then it never seems to work out for him.
Oh my God.
Yes. He's done this a few times.
Oh my
He's
God.
also been on one of Joey Janela's shows, maybe Spring Break, where he fought Joey Janela, and then he sings karaoke. He's like a great singer, and like he sings and he plays guitar and does all this stuff. He's a real Renaissance man.
He's a weirdo. He's so weird in the best way possible. I mean that as a compliment.
Of course.
So, if I may, I pull up his Wikipedia page.
Go ahead.
Not like his whole story, but the very first line about his professional wrestling career is this: after failing the entrance exams to New Japan Pro Wrestling, Murakawa joined Universal Lucha Libre and had his debut on March 1st, 1990 against Monkey Magic Wakita.
Yeah, that seems right.
Wakita, excuse me. So he failed New Japan and then fought a guy named Monkey Magic.
Yeah, wow. That's what you do if you don't get into New Japan.
We do go over in this doc a little bit of his backstory, because we see all the titles. We see him be crazy. For example, there's one dive they show of where he climbs to the top rope and just jumps off to the crowd.
Yeah.
Like to the outside, and just lands on his back. There's nobody there. He just lands on his back at one point. Like, yikes. We get Taka Michinoku, which this was interesting. I always thought Taka Michinoku was the owner of Michinoku Pro, but I guess not.
No, Michinoku is a region or a state.
So
in,
so he's just using that name.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I didn't know that.
I don't know why I confused that, but Sasuke is the owner of Michinoku Pro, and
Yes.
Taka is one of his
Yes,
understudies.
wrestler. And I believe that the thing is when he came into WWE, I don't know, but
That's
at some
how
point,
Sasuke ended up coming in, probably.
yeah, I think but I think he was given the name of Taka Michinoku.
Oh, is that where he got it from when WWE
I wouldn't doubt
picked him
it.
up?
Maybe. And here you go. Here, one more great barrel dive. Here we go. But this time to the outside of the ring. And a better angle.
Oh my God.
I was hoping to see more stuff like this. But instead we got a very kind of sad man who
Very wacky man. So Taka Michinoku says he's like a god. That's what he says about Sasuke. He sees him as a god. And then we get this guy singing, who is hilarious. Sasuke, when he comes out to the ring, this is modern day now. He's working in like high school gyms now, the equivalent of a high school gym in Japan. And this dude sings him out to the ring.
This must be like a local Michinoku show or something.
Yeah, it definitely is. And this guy sings this song about how Sasuke is like a loser and his wife and kids left him, even though that's not true. We see it later.
I thought that was that guy. I thought that was a different wrestler, and that was his gimmick.
No, I think that's the song for Sasuke when he comes out.
Oh, is it?
Because it's like they show it at the end too.
Yeah, they do.
The rest of the song is like wrestling is like the waves and I'm the ocean or something like that. It's very silly. So Sasuke comes out in full Birds of War.
Yes,
He's looking full Birds of War in this thing, and has a match and talks about how God spoke to him as a 13-year-old boy and said, "You need to be a professional wrestler." He reached down and said, "Sasuke, you need to be a professional wrestler," which is not the only time that God speaks to Sasuke.
No.
One of two. We see him at home. We see Sasuke at home vacuuming with the mask, eating breakfast with the mask with his family, and says, "This bread that I'm eating right now is good for constipation."
Yes. The 7-grain bread.
Good for constipation.
Yep. Hey, it is. It's good.
He's not wrong. It's good.
Loosen them up.
You gotta get that out of there.
You gotta get those.
Firm it up. They talk about how he wears a mask all the time and how he met his wife, which was what you talked about, how he had to go to Mexico to prove himself, basically. And he met his wife in Mexico. So his wife traveled back to Japan with him. And interestingly enough, she speaks Spanish and Japanese fluently, which is kind of
I would hope so.
Cool. Yeah,
but so many years.
Impressive.
Yes.
I enjoyed her because she has a very just a realistic take on Sasuke of like he needs to retire. Why is he running for political office?
When was this?
2012, 11 and 12.
11.
Man.
They show a lot of 2011.
So a decade ago almost.
That's so. That's the thing is that like all this stuff with the barrel and all this stuff is like more recent. So like you see him in this and he is bagged up.
Yeah,
he's bagged up, and he was recently in. I thought he was in recently in GCW's Tournament of Survival, which is pretty much like a deathmatch tournament.
Yeah, he's never gonna retire. He actually says his wife says at one point right here, he's said to her he's gonna wrestle till he dies.
Yeah,
it's like okay.
He says it in like a sad way, not in like a.
Yeah. Yes. She's like, I can't convince him. We meet there's this journalist who shows up a bunch in this, and just dumps on Sasuke a bunch, but he's like,
Yes.
he has many spinal injuries. Like, oh
Yeah.
my god, many spinal injuries is not good.
No.
Not good. The second time God speaks to Sasuke was in 1992 when he was in Mexico. I'm sorry, and God told him, "You got to come back to Japan and do these matches in front of your hometown." So that's why he started Michinoku Pro, because God told him
Hey,
the second time.
That's what many men have done. God has told them.
He reached down and told him to start doing more pro wrestling. So he went back to Japan on that piece of advice and started Michinoku Pro. And some of the Michinoku Pro wrestlers are on this, and they talk about how Michinoku Pro is much more popular in America than it is in Japan.
Yeah.
So much more,
Yeah.
which is weird. And they show like the tours and stuff. Like they toured in London and America and Los Angeles, I think. And a lot of people are very excited to see Sasuke.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see Sasuke in Japan counting tickets, and he can't sell all of his tickets. And later, he can't sell all of his tickets to his 20th anniversary match either. Then we get to the good stuff. Sasuke, the politician.
Oh man!
Did you see this coming?
I feel like I knew this. Like he did try his hand in politics, but maybe
I had no idea.
Yeah. So we see like an assembly hall, and Sasuke's up on the podium or whatever the fuck it's called, and he's talking about what does he say? We need air ambulances. What the fuck is an air ambulance?
Well, the thing is,
Is that a thing?
Well, this is all I think after the
disaster.
After the
no,
yeah,
this
the
was
disaster.
No, this was in 2007.
Oh,
his first run was in 2007.
Okay,
Pre-tsunami.
Pre-tsunami. Okay, well,
so
yeah.
Does air ambulance mean helicopter?
Maybe, I don't know.
Because then that makes sense. You should have those.
That would make more sense. But yeah, so he's in the assembly hall. He's wearing the mask while being a politician, which I assume he was elected because they said he was actually an assemblyman.
Yeah, I think he was elected when he was like a popular wrestler.
So he was elected. He's doing his political shit with the mask on. He still won't take the mask off. Like even his kids, like he won't take his mask off. His own kids.
Well, we get to watch him like exchange the masks like 5 times.
Yes.
Very efficient exchange of masks.
Yeah.
That was very like. How did he even do that? I don't know. That's gotta be hard to do.
Yeah. How is that terribly uncomfortable for your face?
In 2007, Sasuke decided, you know what? This assembly thing's going great. I'm going to run for governor.
Yes.
Yep.
Did not go well. He lost the election by a landslide, and then somebody took his picture on a train and he assaulted them.
Yeah. Hey, so you have
assuming they were making fun of him losing the election, and he assaulted them and was arrested. So, not a good look.
No.
So his political career went straight down the tubes right there. But
did it?
That's
foreshadowing.
So we talked about his 20th anniversary match. We're following him around, getting ready for his 20th anniversary match. One of the really interesting things about this is the view into Japanese culture.
Yeah,
how the towns work and the politics.
Japanese politics is just
weird.
What was the word they kept saying? Prefects?
The prefect, yes.
Prefect and governor. Instead of governor, it was like gubernural something.
Prefecture that's something I know, because I know prefects are something in Britain. I don't know what a
It's just according to the internet, it's just a district under the government of a prefect. So I guess it's like a county or something.
Yes. But then there's prefects in Britain, which I think are kind of like something like a rank. Yeah, it's an administrator. Yeah, it's some sort of rank because I remember in Harry Potter they called people prefects. So yeah.
Okay. In Japan, 47 prefectures forming the country's first level of jurisdiction and administrative division.
Yeah, so it's like states, right?
Kind of, yeah. But I think it's less like divided than our states.
Right. So okay.
Okay, so his 20th anniversary match is where we're following him around, and he can't sell it out. Can't sell out his own 20th anniversary match in his own hometown. He's actually literally on the phone calling people, trying to get them to come.
Yeah, he's like, this looks bad. He actually says like, this looks bad.
Yeah. He's fighting some younger wrestler, and we see some of this match, which has a lot of scary bumps, including this really scary looking brain buster on the apron that Sasuke does to the other guy, where instead of dropping him down on a brain buster, he drops him like face first onto the apron. It's very scary looking. Sasuke wins his 20th anniversary match and wins his own light heavyweight championship.
He's facing off against like a kickboxer type of guy.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yes. I'm watching right now a match of him versus Darby Allin. And
what?
Yes. And man, some of the bumps he's taking in this, like after seeing that documentary, you're just like, he's been doing this for decades still, and
it's 8 years after he's still doing
it. He did a swanton dive onto a steel chair, like an empty upright steel chair.
Oh my god!
And he lost to Darby Allin.
So he wins his 20th anniversary match, and this is where it's like the kayfabe of this whole thing comes into play, because it's like the wrestlers come on and like, boy, did he have fighting spirit. Can't believe he won the match. They're like, what is this? It's kind of a weird moment. But we find out he injured his hip, and his son has to take him to the hospital the next day. So we see him go in, and he's like, when we see his like tearful winning speech to the media, and like how he can't walk after that, he like collapses, and then he goes to the hospital and gets an x-ray on his hip because he thought something happened to his hip, and no worry, it's just a torn ligament in my hip. It's nothing.
He's fine.
Yeah, the bones aren't broken.
Bones aren't broken. I'm good. Next scene is him back at the gym working out. He's back at the gym working out with the mask. We see the 2011 tsunami shit, which is, like you said, some of this is sad. This part is crazy sad. Also, it's like shocking, some of the pictures and
the devastation. Video. If you go back and watch,
oh my god,
shit, like it's scary what happened.
And the area right outside of where Sasuke lives and where Michinoku Pro runs, there's a peninsula, and the tsunami hit not only one section of the peninsula, but both. It hit both sides at the same time and basically just destroyed the entire thing. And it's crazy, some of these shots where they're driving by and they see like entire hotels just wiped out, just blank, like giant piles of garbage. It's like no houses, just garbage everywhere, like in little piles. Like, wow.
Oh yeah, everything is
scary,
just devastated.
Very sad. We get to see his next gig after his anniversary show. He decides he's going to run for political office again.
Going back.
So here he is on the street corner yelling at people into a microphone because this is apparently how Japanese politics work.
Yeah,
because they showed the other woman doing it too.
We see the other woman riding around in a car yelling into a microphone or a megaphone or whatever at her people. And then I was like laughing at the sash because he has a big sash on, like he's like a beauty pageant queen, and he's yelling at people. And I'm like, why does he have a sash on? But that's the thing. You're supposed to wear the sash that signifies what section or whatever you're running for. So they all have a sash on. So that wasn't a weird thing that he did. Everybody has a sash on. It's like, oh, of course he has a sash on.
Of course. Here you go. Here's something. Yep, there's Great Sasuke getting
squished by Ninja Turtles.
by Ninja Turtles, yeah.
All of them.
All of them at once. At once. All the Ninja Turtles at once. Michelangelo carried them all. Wow. Mikey.
Best one.
He's the best, yeah.
Yep.
We've been over this.
You were going to name your potential baby, Leo.
Yeah, there was a real chance.
There's a real chance there.
Is this like you're going to book him WWE style and he had to scrape his way all the way from the bottom?
Yes. Oh, I'm going to scrape.
Real underdog story.
Yeah.
Sasuke running for office is hilarious. Him on the corners of streets yelling at people that aren't paying attention.
Yeah, is this how politics goes down? And like,
seems like it.
Like no one's paying attention to you. How do you get? Like, is that how you get?
Like last time there was people like were excited. No one cares right now.
Yeah,
I feel like a TV commercial would do better. But maybe you don't have.
I like how they show.
Buddy?
They show like the guy in the corner with all the pictures of the candidates, and there's like 8 or 9 of them. And Sasuke's in there with his mask, like
with his mask on. Oh yeah,
great picture. And so he's on the corner. He's yelling at people with a megaphone and saying, like, apologizing at the same time, which I thought was funny. He's like, I'm the Great Sasuke here. Great, he calls himself that, like Great Sasuke here. Sorry, it's so loud. He's like yelling at his. He's got 3 handlers in suits, white gloves, and like weird patches.
These guys who are like waving with him.
Yes, but all the other politicians have them as well. They're not quite as goofy looking.
No,
but
he also is just in like white t-shirt and white windbreakers. Is his like political outfit.
He's in all white and a white sash, but so part of his like campaign or whatever, where he's like, you know, these are my ideas. You should vote for me. Is look, I'm using solar power as a solar powered megaphone.
Yep.
Which one of his handlers has to hold the weird solar power thing everywhere he goes. Oh, so silly. So silly. And he's just yelling at people. And we see him go to like a weird, it said university. It didn't seem like it. It seemed like a store or something, but he's outside of there and he's like, I campaigned here last time and I did really well. And there's like 16 kids on bicycles like, who the fuck are you? And why are you yelling at us in a megaphone? Some of the talking heads, one of them who earlier on, Sasuke asked him to run Michinoku Pro. He's like, can you run Michinoku Pro for me? And the guy was like, yeah, I would be interested in that.
Yeah, so you know who that's
who is that?
That's Hakushi.
Oh, okay, Hakushi. So he asked Hakushi.
Who we saw at what's it called?
In WWF.
Who we saw down at Joey Janela?
Yes, yes.
So he was supposed to run Michinoku Pro, and he was like, I'd be interested in that. So he brought it to a bunch of financial analysts to double check if it was a good idea. And they're like, whatever you just showed us is a company that doesn't exist anymore. It's full.
It is already going under.
Somehow, though, he agreed to do it. Here he says Sasuke is both great and awful at the same time. And his biggest flaw is that he's a sloppy person in every way. They show him eating, and I guess that's a sloppy way of eating. I don't know. It's election night. That's part of the whole thing. Election night. He does a final like speech at the corner that he's been campaigning the entire documentary. He's basically thanks all of his supporters and volunteers or whatever, and then they show like his supporters, which are the white glove dudes and like one lady, and then they pan out and there's nobody else. They show like he's actually by himself. He's giving the speech to nobody. He's just alone. And then he goes back to a restaurant to wait for the returns to come in for the election. which is the best part of the whole thing.
And what I didn't realize, which made me sad in this scene, was it wasn't like it was him versus one person.
It's him
There was
versus like 9
15
guys.
teams, and he just needs to be 10 in the top 10 of
Top
16.
10, yeah.
That's
Is
it.
that what it was? 10 of 16.
I think so.
Okay, so we go over, the votes start coming in, and his campaign manager, we've seen a little bit here and there. He's like a dude with glasses following him around, but we don't really hear from him too much until here. So he's on the phone getting the results, and it's like, so-and-so has 10,000 votes. So-and-so has 9,000 votes. So-and-so has 8,000 votes. And then he's like, okay, well, how many does Sasuke have? 4,000 votes. That's it. 4,000 votes. So he loses by a landslide this election. And a lot of it has to do with old people don't respect him. We see like a bunch of old people interviewed.
Yeah, who don't like him.
Like, he's a weirdo who wears a mask and wants to be a politician. And one woman at the farmer's market, which was an interesting little clip where they go to the farmer's market and campaign. And like, we see this one younger woman say like, I like Sasuke, he's cool. And then we see her mom, the older woman, be like, no, this is not okay. And then what she says,
very very respectful Japanese of like, I
don't really want to say this, but she says, which I thought was real interesting, he's famous. Just because he's famous, he thinks he thinks that he can be a politician, but he can't. Like, wow.
That's how it works.
What do you know? What do you know? And then there's another woman who's just like, he's inappropriate. That's what she says. She's like, what do you think of Sasuke? He's inappropriate. Like, whoa. But now to the best part. Sasuke loses this election. He gets dominated, destroyed in this election. Done. And the campaign manager gets up and he goes, sorry we let you all down. That's the first thing he says to the supporters of Sasuke. He's like, sorry we let you all down.
Yeah, and he says,
but
is this where he calls him arrogant?
Yes. He's like, he was too arrogant to win this election.
Yep.
That was his fatal flaw. Oh my God. Just like destroys Sasuke. And Sasuke turns around and he's like, yeah, I guess I was too arrogant. He like admits to it. But I thought that was funny. This is like this campaign manager was like, he's just too arrogant. He was never gonna win.
I feel like he doesn't know how to say anything bad about himself, so he was just looking for anything. Like the campaign manager had to like give him that talking point.
And then he's like, but clap for him anyway. It's just a very silly moment. He sucks, right? Oh, okay. So he loses. We feel bad for Sasuke. Because I actually think Sasuke generally, after you kind of see him lose or whatever, I think he genuinely wants to help. He just doesn't have the ability to help. Like, he doesn't know what he should do to help. He's like, I want to help my community. And it's like, you're not going to help your community by being a politician. It's never going to work. Like, it's never going to work, guy.
Well, something more recent, he during COVID, during the coronavirus, like him and the Michinoku pro wrestlers are still helping people by delivering food to them. That's very nice.
So that's that's the end, the nice part at the end where we get the uplifting thing. It's like during the tsunami, after the tsunami, he was delivering food to people and in the devastated areas and stuff. And then he agrees to run a show at the one school that's left, basically, where all the displaced kids go to this one school, and they're going to run a show at the school. And this is like, what a great, just awesome, like, reflection of like kids are kids. I don't know. It's just like these kids that come out while he's weightlifting, which was another funny scene. He's like lifting a dumbbell in the reflection of a window. Checking himself out, and these kids come out and they're like asking these questions. It was just like, this is very silly. Like, pose. Can you pose for us? Why do you have those scars on you? Did you get stabbed? And then he's like, yeah, I did get stabbed. You ever see a fluorescent light? I got stabbed with one of those.
Oh,
Like, did it hurt? Yeah, it fucking hurt. I got stabbed in the chest and I have a giant scar. Oh, it was great. So he teaches these kids how to wrestle. They run the ropes and all that. And then he has a match. The kids love him. Kids love him. Old people hate Sasuke, but kids love him.
Huh.
Story of the documentary. And then we get this really fun ending where he wrestles inside of a mall. He comes out and wrestles in a mall where he's like, I didn't think they were going to let us wrestle in a mall, but they did. And a lot of people liked it. And then they show
foot traffic.
His entrance, which is the guy singing again about how he's an ocean in a sea of pro wrestling or whatever the hell it says. And he wins a match inside of a mall. And that's the very fun conclusion. And we see kids, all the kids love him. So that's his legacy to his hometown. So what a fun documentary.
Something.
It was sad.
Yeah, like him.
I wasn't bummed out by it.
I was.
Things haven't been going his way since like '98.
And now to know this was like a decade ago, and the dude is,
and he's still
doing this wacky shit,
killing himself in these matches.
Here he did. This is 2011.
Okay.
Here we go. Come on.
Who are these guys? Oh, ow.
Yeah. This is 2011. Now watch him be peeled off of this.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's literally just been doing insane stuff.
He's a maniac. He's a crazy person who thinks he was talked to by God, who thinks he's basically is a god, sort of.
Yeah.
But he's also like weirdly self-reflective. Like, I can't sell tickets. It's weird.
It's
how can he be so arrogant and then also at the same time be like, I'm not that good? I don't know. He's a unique man.
I did learn one thing here. I was looking at Michinoku Pro Wrestling. In 1997, some WWFers showed up in Michinoku Pro.
Yes. We see one of them.
Hakushi, who he had a match against, kind of a big deal in WWE at the time.
Right.
The Undertaker had a match in Michinoku Pro as The Undertaker.
Wow. Well, they show a show in '97 in the documentary where Sunny introduces Sasuke.
Yeah.
The part where he walks out with the 9 belts. She's like, it's 97 Sunny doing the ring announcing. So maybe that was that same show. That would be a really fun show to, if you could find that would be a fun show to watch. Undertaker and Michinoku Pro. I don't know how you find that. It's probably not available anywhere.
I found the one match. I don't know what the whole show.
Yeah. It's got to be the same thing, but yeah, what a interesting person. What an interesting documentary. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's on YouTube. It's free. Go watch it. It's fun. Sasuke is a maniac. He's insane. And he has things like train matches. So, on a moving train, which that match wasn't that good, but it was a silly concept.
It was very silly.
Just the idea that you would stop and have wrestlers get on and then wrestle until you get to the next stop. Very silly. All right, so that's it. Great Sasuke documentary. Go watch it. It's good. It's really fun. Or sad, depending on who you are. And that brings us, take a shot. That brings us to you, Mike, who you will be up next. And as we said in the last show, housekeeping, we're not going to be here next week due to vacation. But I will be putting out some shows, some past shows. And we'll still have card unboxings and we'll still have We Book shows on the YouTube. So if you were enjoying those are still going to be around. But after that, when we come back, what do we got?
Well, I should have us watch the new third hour of Raw called WWE Underground.
I can't even comprehend what that's supposed to mean.
God. What is that?
I can't even comprehend it.
Oh, don't worry. I'll show you. What are you thinking it means? Underground Fight League?
Oh my God. Is it like cinematic matches?
Who knows? You're
Or
just
is
gonna
it
have
this brawl for all shit?
I think it's the Brawl for All. I'll show you guys in a little bit.
Fuck.
We're gonna most definitely do a
We're playing Journey of Wrestling.
yes, we're gonna play Journey to
Multiplayer
Wrestling.
Journey of Wrestling.
Yes.
Mike's a Booker Man. The old name.
Yes.
Now it's called We Book WCW. Except we're not going to book WCW, are we? What are we booking?
I don't know yet. Well, I'll figure that out.
We're going to have to pick promotions between the four of us.
Yes.
I can't wait to see what Wally books. Because I'm pretty sure the three of us can kind of put something together. But what the hell is he going to come up with?
I'll have
what kind of Dick Togo bullshit is he going to come up with? Bushi, champion, Homa, top challenger. Who knows?
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be Journey of Wrestling.
Okay. We're gonna play Journey of Wrestling for an hour and see what happens. Yes. We're all gonna book a territory. We're able to sign guys away from each other? Are we gonna fuck with each other? Is that gonna be part of it?
That I find it's hard to do without the paying. Like I can't recruit very many people.
You got to wait for them to show up on the indies and be available. Or
Marty Jannetty wants like $350. Like, no, I'll give you 50, Marty.
Or you can do what I did and just steal everybody from WCW. Wait for them to sign and recruit people, and then steal them away right away.
How do you steal them away?
So you wait. Like I flagged some dudes on the free agency list or the indies list, and I'm like, okay, well, I see Prince Devitt is on here, so I'm gonna wait till he's signed by New Japan, and then I'm gonna sign him for like $100 more than he's probably making, and steal him and take him over to my place. So I always, like, after every monthly show, I go and look at their rosters and see who's in their jabroni list, because either they have recruits that I would steal or indie guys I would steal, and then I just stole them all for super cheap. And that's why in mine, WCW, Balls Mahoney is the WWF champion.
I did not sign him.
Balls Mahoney, who I let go, is the WWF champion. And his top challenger is El Samurai.
Ooh.
Because everybody else is retired. And the best part is Sting is the WCW champion, but he has no appearances left. Every time I look, he has no appearances left. So WCW is walking around with an undefending champion in 2011, which is silly. All right. So we're going to play Journey of Wrestling. It's going to be a lot of fun. That one, you never know. That might be over an hour. I feel like that.
Yeah, that
might have some fun with that. That might be a long one.
That may be.
We'll see how it goes. All right.
Yes.
That's it. Enjoy your week off. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Peace out.
Record that your one-on-one with Mr. Bruce.
All right. The Scotch off. The great Scotch off of 2020.
Scotch off of summer of 2020.
All right. I will not do that. I can't record what's going to be said. All right. Let's just be Band of Brothers and explosions, and then every once in a while, some weird, I don't know, weird philosophy. He'll like pop out with some weird like zinger. Be like, oh shit, that's something to live by, and then back to explosion. All right, peace out.